Pedro from A&P-REACTS. I'm here today with JP Ahonen, the mastermind, the evil mastermind behind Belzebubs. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
I'm very good, very good. I first want to thank you for taking the time to sit down with me today and talk a little bit about your art.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
First question I want to ask you right off the bat: what inspired you to create Belzebub?
Belzebub started out as like a self-therapy project, basically, completely by accident. Do you want the longer version or the shorter version?
The longer would be nice, because I'm really curious to see what was going through your mind when you decided to create those characters.
Yeah. Well, in 2015, the fall of 2015, I was pretty burnt out and suffering from a depression because, well, of the burnout, and couldn't really work, and found that I was getting very uptight and meticulous about details that didn't really matter, like on a daily basis at work. And because I'm a freelance illustrator and a family man, I needed to just somehow shake it off as quickly as possible. So for some reason, I thought I'd like fight fire with fire, and draw myself out of the jam. And I needed to loosen up and find a way to find the joy in drawing and creating again. So my friends were taking part in the Inktober challenge. So I thought that, well, that's a perfect way for me as well to just not focus on polishing my drawing skills or anything, but just like to force myself to push something improvised out of my system. And I tried to do something very quick, very loose, straight with inks on paper, and just like send it out. And for some reason, the first drawing I did incorporated two black metal guys. It's just, I don't know why. I think partly it came in the wake of my earlier graphic novel, Sing No Evil, which also had a black metal band, a rival black metal band. And it was actually the Dried Vomit strip or gag, which I drew. And I had so much fun doing these crude, simple black and white characters. I thought that, okay, I'll make black metal or Satanism or whatever, like loose theme for the Inktober. And I ended up doing maybe 20 strips or like single panel gags. And I wasn't able to finish Inktober because of work and being swamped with everything else. But the characters started nagging in the back of my head. So I thought that, okay, well, maybe it could be a personal thing just for myself, and I could do something new with it. And the next spring, basically, I just jotted down ideas in my sketchbook and sort of played around with ideas for the characters, and came up with the mockumentary style theme for it. And September 2016, I think I started pushing them out on a weekly basis. So everything's basically snowballed from there on. Yeah.
Do you come up when you sat down to start creating those? Did you had a story in mind, or it was just you just start to draw and then you kind of like evolve from that point on?
Yeah, I had I brainstormed ideas for the strips, but they were just single gags or jokes. And but I've been doing a weekly comic strip for 15, 17 years now, something like this. I've noticed that I can't really do like single short strips or jokes. They always sort of just start like going into bizarre directions and evolving into bigger schemes. So, which is also very, very cool. I mean, you could do shorter like story arcs, but still keep them as still make the single strips sort of work. Or so, but yeah, there was no big plan in the beginning. It was just like I wanted to keep it loose and like improvised, and it still is quite improvised. Like I have ideas of where I want the characters to go and like storylines which need to be sort of handled. But how I get from point A to point B, I don't know. Like whenever I'm doing the weekly strip, I'm always sort of surprised myself as well. Like, oh, is this direction we're going now? Oh, this character is bisexual now. Okay, fine. It's like interesting, and yeah, it's a lot of it is just done on a whim, and it's cool. It's
so fasting forward from those times to now, March is around the corner, and you're going to be releasing the Belzebubs book, hardcover book. How long has that been in the plans for you to release it in that format?
I think I was in touch with Top Shelf already, like last spring or something, because I was compiling it for release in Finland, and I had all these other language editions like negotiated as well, and yeah. Top Shelf wanted it to be a book for this year. They didn't want to rush it for last year, even though it's been basically ready since September or something. But yeah, it includes most of the material I've done online, but some extra stuff and like extra panels here and there, because some of the strips that are online have appeared as like 6 panels, and to make it nice and like to make it work on a spread, then I've added stuff or played around with the sort of timing or tempo.
I wanted to talk to you about that because I thought was really interesting the fact that you combined. I've read it and I've checked it out. I loved it, and one of the things that captivated me to it, it was the multitude of stories that were happening at the same time, yet all of them somehow interconnected. You may not understand exactly the connection immediately, but as you start going through it, you start to realize the connection. Is that something that's really important to you in terms of the storytelling aspect, that you're able to use your characters to tell a wide variety of stories while still all being part of one main story?
Yeah, that's something that I'm personally really intrigued about, and liked when working on the graphic novel Signal Evil, because you're in it for the long run. Like you might put in all these little jokes or fun dialogue or scenes, individual scenes, but at the end you're weaving this larger storyline, and I've tried to incorporate that into the weekly strips as well. Like I said, I don't know necessarily how it's all being like linked, but I trust my brains to sort of like work it out anyhow. Like actually, I can't say it here because I'll be spoiling it from some of the readers. But yeah, there are. If you read Belzebubs for a second time, you'll probably notice that, oh, okay, this was already sort of like linked to this storyline, or what's the word? Anyhow, well, referencing some events that are,
I totally felt that. I felt that sometimes the stories it felt like it jumped from one to another, but then as you get into that second one, there's a little reference here and there that backtracks to another reference somewhere else. So it's almost like the more I went through it, the more I read it, the better I understood the interconnection of everything.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good to hear. Yeah.
And that takes me to the next point, which is when you're writing these, I'm reading these stories. Like I sat down and my wife was next to me and I'm reading these and I'm laughing. Like every so often I just burst out laughing and she's wondering what the hell is going on. What the hell are you reading? You know? Yeah. And the thing that spoke to me the most was that you included a lot of themes that a lot of people can connect with. Raising your kids, family, starting a band, having a hard time with being in a band, love, teenage love. I mean, there's so many different aspects. Homosexuality, bisexuality, like there's all of these things. Are you drawing these stories from personal experiences or people around you, or where do you get the ideas to put these stories into your characters?
Good question. I wish I could use more of my like own experience and daily life in Belzebubs, but to be honest, I feel I'm so fatigued right now with everything that when I come to work or start brainstorming with the strips, I have like nothing. I'm completely drawing a blank. And I'm trying to sort of like go through what's been going on at home, or if my kids have said something funny, or there's been anything I could really like inspire from. And usually it's so mundane, so boring. so really I need to like reach out further and try and jump into the headsets of those characters and really try and see what their life is like.
So their life is way more exciting than your life. So you're what you're telling me is that you're kind of living vicariously through your characters.
Yes. Yeah. I'm having a good time with them. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Once, for example, Lilith's teenage romance came into play and all that. The first ideas were very, very loose and all that, but yeah, I noticed that it was very easy to somehow like get back to that mindset as well. Like, oh yeah, this was exactly how awkward it was when you were like 16 or whatever, and yeah, that was partly very embarrassing, but also very fun to sort of incorporate all that like insecurity and like weird just like hassle what it is at that age, and still is actually. Like I don't know what I'm doing half the time.
I found personally with the stories, that specific story I really connected to, because like you said, I could really bring myself back to that time when I was 15, 14 and see myself through the character, which was really strange, because it's like this was us, like we behaved that way. So that was, to me, was really strange from that perspective. And the other one is the whole family dynamic that they have at home. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like being a father as well and having a son, I can totally relate to those kind of conversations and how you relate to your kids and how you try to take them in the right path, if you will. So those two specific stories, I felt a very deep connection with. And that's why I was asking you that, if that's something you see in your house and perhaps dynamics that you have and you bring that to the forefront. Because they seem too personal to be made up.
Okay, well, that's good then. I'm very humbled to hear. Yeah, my kids are so they're so young that I don't have those same experiences with them as with well, what Lilith and Leviathan offer in Beelzebubs. But somehow it's also very interesting to sort of like just imagine what it will be like, maybe when they grow up a little, and yeah, I strongly doubt they'll be that much of a metalhead in any of them. So
You never know. You're in
you never
Finland
know.
after all.
Yeah, true. But that's it. Yeah,
It's in the DNA. I don't think you can run away from it.
yeah, it's in the tap water, probably. Yeah.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
I know you said that the characters, the stories of the characters, you're not really drawing from personal experiences, but as you look at the characters from the outside, let's say it this way: you're kind of the father of these characters.
Yeah.
So, and as a father, sometimes it's hard for you to pick your favorite child, if you will.
Yeah.
But if you look at these characters, I'm not asking you to pick your favorite character necessarily, but which of the characters are the one that perhaps you identify yourself the most?
Yeah, that's impossible to say. Like, as you said, I'm the father of the characters, so my DNA is sort of like sprinkled into all of them, like ranging from Sloth to the grandma and everyone. Like,
She's hilarious.
Yeah, I love playing around with that character. Possibly because she's also quite distant from like how I am as a persona, but maybe she's like what I'd like to be. I don't know. The great tragedy of man that you can't be a sour grandmother. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Really bitter.
Yes. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really say who'd I sympathize the most with.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, they vary. Yeah.
On any given day, you have a different favorite, depending on how the story.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah, usually, and you might notice that some days you don't want to like work with a character. For example, you're in a different sort of groove or mindset, and then you notice that, okay, well, this will be a Obituary day or something. I don't know. It happens with my other comic strip as well. Like there's 8 to 10 characters in that, and I noticed that it's the same deal with those. They're quite different from characters in Belzebubs, but yeah, I find bits and pieces of my persona in them as well.
Will it the next logical step for you, as far as Belzebubs are concerned, would it be perhaps like a cartoon animated movie? That's something that you would love to do?
I'd love to do a animated series or cartoon, but that's a bit out of my hands. but yeah, there's a lot of material I'd like to like plow through, and things I'd like to explore with the characters and concept. So yeah, I definitely think that an animated series or a random set of like short animated content would you'd be able to do a lot more, or well, different stuff than what I can do with the comics. And yeah, of course, everything's always a time issue and like a financial issue, but I'd like to also do like a proper longer story with Belzebubs, so that it wouldn't be made out of the material I'm putting out online, but like compile it into a like shorter graphic novel or something. So
this year is a busy year. I mean, you're a busy guy. It was hard for me to have my people talk to your people about us being able to sit down here together to talk about Belzebubs. You're a busy guy. And not only the book is coming out, which, by the way, is coming out in different languages. I believe it's coming out in Italian. What's the language it's coming out? I know it's in English, Finnish, Italian.
Spanish, French, Greek, and this year it's coming out in Italian, English, and Norwegian at least.
Yeah, so all of that takes a lot of work and takes a lot of effort. There's a lot of stuff going on in your life. And on top of all of that, Century Media is going to release Belzebubs the album. And I could not be more excited about that. I honestly, I can't wait. How's the process been for you as far as that album, the release of the album?
Well, initially when I started fooling around with the idea of publishing Belzebubs online as a self-therapy thing, I wanted to sort of explore what the web could offer in terms of storytelling and stuff. And since I'd been already doing the weekly comic strip in a newspaper for 15 years, like there are things in print or web that you can't do. Things in web you can't do in print. And I had this idea of doing maybe 20-second musical clips with loose animated content, or just maybe for Instagram or something. And the initial idea was to do everything myself, just play the guitar and then do the drums on GarageBand or something like this, very, very crude and crappy. And one thing sort of led to another, because I'm a metalhead, well, since 13 years old, and I know a lot of like actual metal musicians who are very good friends of mine and stuff. And we just started brainstorming with the idea that, well, maybe we could do like one song or something, but that sort of snowballed into, well, maybe we should pitch this to like an actual label. And eventually, now there's 9 songs, 11 songs on the the limited edition media book. But there's like an hour of material, and it's good. Like, who knew the Belzebubs could play? But
I was just going to say that to you, because when Black and Cold came out, and I'm listening to the song, I'm like, when I look at the characters, I didn't picture this music coming out of this bunch. You know? I sort of needed to backtrack a little and like change my like initial idea of having them be this really crappy bunch. So I thought that, okay, well, maybe they're just like very many of the musicians, that they actually just have so bad luck, or are somehow just very clumsy and like manage to always like fuck things up in the end. So they never get their big break. And that's sort of where the storyline has evolved now. That they've always been like full of ideas and like actually like good musicians, but I was like I said, that Black and Cold video was like, when I picture Belzebubs, I picture what you were saying before, like very crude, like really unpolished sound. That video comes out, and that video brought 2 things to the table. One, it gave life to the characters, because one thing is for you to read the strip, and the other thing is for you to see them alive in front of you. And the other thing was the quality of the music. I'm like, wow, that's not like what these guys are really good. It's just like they never got their break, like you said. Were you surprised with the response that song, that video received from fans?
Yeah, partly. Like I of course knew the song was good, so like um, so that wasn't a question uh, of the actual like songwriting skill or anything. The band has done like an incredible job with Black and Coal and all the other songs, but yeah, we needed to work on that like in secret because we wanted to, yeah, well, just come out uh, uh, by surprise. And yeah, I really didn't know what the reaction would be if if the majority of people would be like, oh, this is silly, and you shouldn't mix black metal and cartoons or whatever. But I don't know. We want to do our own thing, and we believe in our own thing. And like I feel that Beelzebubs and this concept, we're we're able to do a lot of new things and interesting things, like which a normal band couldn't be doing. So yeah, just I sort of try and just keep my head down and focus on the work instead of like uh, having my antennas like pick up and receive all the feedback and what's going on, how people are reacting to it and everything. Uh, I mean, the Beelzebub's Facebook page and my personal like social media accounts, there are a lot of amazing people there who are really supportive and just great, uh, very encouraging and everything. So as long as they're interested and feel that it's a good thing and like push it forward, I'm happy. So so yeah. Yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I was a bit surprised that it took off so fast because it
So
could have
now,
just
yeah, it was the response from the fans was absolutely incredible.
yeah,
I know for us on our channel, people kept telling us you have to check out this video. The video you have to check out. It was not just even the song. People wanted us to see the video because there was
yeah,
everything. And now
yeah,
it kind of snowballed and it just became like almost larger than life. With then begs the question is, once the album is out, what's the next logical step? Is there going to be shows or that's completely out of the question?
no. I hope to be able to manage enough like animated content for first. Um, for the shows and somehow figure out how it would be manageable in terms of money and actually like the execution so that it would be possible and fun for the fans and like people who don't know the concept before and everything. But yeah, it's definitely in the works, but there's a lot of things going on simultaneously. So just trying.
It's another moving part to the many moving
Yes.
parts that your life is.
Yeah, definitely.
I have two last questions for you. Actually, one is not a question. One is a little bit of information that I want to put forward, but the other one is a question. So I want to start with the question, actually. You seem to be, we've mentioned this many times, you're a busy guy. What do you do for fun? Do you go to metal shows, sauna? Like, what does
sauna.
do for fun?
Yes. Yeah. I fool around with the kids and I cook. I love to cook. And if I have the time or just everything clicks that my friends have the time, I want to see them and go eat somewhere or just like hang out and not think about work. So, yeah, seeing friends, sauna, having drinks. Whenever I have the chance, I usually pick up the guitar and like fool around with it for a bit. But usually I'm interrupted by by one of the kids or my wife or something. So it's usually very, very short snippets.
Yeah, really short window of time.
Yeah.
So last but not least, I wanted to mention this to you because as I was going through the website to see the different languages that the book was coming out, I noticed that Portuguese was not one of them. So I want to put forward my translating skills for future. And if you ever need the book translated into Portuguese, you let me know. I'll gladly translate it for you at free of charge. There's only one small little caveat. You'll have to make a Belzebubs character that looks like me. So if you can do that, I'm more than happy in the future to translate any material that you have into Portuguese. Do we have a deal?
Okay. Yes, thank you. But I'm a strong believer in actually like paying people for their jobs. So thanks for the offer, but yes, yeah. If that happens, you'll also get money for it. For sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm more than happy to do it in exchange of a Belzebub's character that looks like me. So so my price, I drive a tough bargain, and I'm extremely cheap, as you can see.
Cool.
JP, thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
No
This
worries.
was an absolute blast.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the book coming out and everybody getting a chance to check it out. It's magnificent. I've read it multiple times, and every time I find something funny that I didn't discover the previous time. So it's extremely entertaining.
Cool.
I'm also looking forward to the record. Obviously, I'm gonna be really excited once that album comes out. And thanks for doing this, because you bring smiles and laughter to our. It's really important in the days that we live in today.
Okay. Cheers. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Take care, man.